Today on Baking Savvy, I will be demonstrating 3 different methods on how to achieve two-tone piping. The first technique is done with a specially designed bag that has been separated in the middle, forming a divider between the 2 icing colors. The second method is taking a standard piping bag and combining the 2 icing colors together. And lastly, my third technique. This is done by taking 2 pieces of plastic wrap to divide the icing colors before placing them in a standard piping bag. Now let's get started. First method is the specialized bag. This has been designed with the middle divided so that we can place the 2 icing colors. One side will be red and one side will be black. We will first begin by opening up the bag. I can already tell that this is going to give me some trouble, for the opening of the bag is just simply too small. There's no way that I can open it farther enough so that I could put my hands inside to make a cup form. But let's try it anyway. First, we open the bag. Then we're going to take our red icing and fill one side of the bag. Now we're going to open up the other end and fill it with the black icing. Now that we have the 2 colors inside the bag, we have to push the colors inside to fill it. This requires me smushing the bag to put them on each side. First the red, then the black. I can tell that this is going to be very messy. Some icing has been left on the top, so when I go to force the icing down the bag, some of it is going to spill out from the top. This is not good, but we'll keep on doing it anyway. Fill the bag up completely until both colors have been incorporated. Now the only problem with this is that I'm going to need another piping bag in order for me to put a tip with a coupler and start piping. I'm going to take a simple piece of paper and start piping. We want to make sure to keep the piping bag at an angle. That way the technique can be seen. One side is red and one side is black. The colors did not blend together. If we hold the piping bag with one color facing down, we will get the reverse color facing up, and vice versa. That is why it is very important that when you are piping with this double-sided bag or any of the techniques, you want to make sure that you pipe them at an angle. Now, the straight piping method. With this technique, we basically just take a standard piping bag and invert it inside out over your hand. You're going to make a C shape with your hand, sort of like if you were holding a cup. This will make it much easier to do this technique. Once you have the bag fitted around your hand, we're simply going to place one icing color on one side and the other on the opposite side. First, we're going to start off with the black icing. We're going to take a spatula and we're just simply going to draw a line inside one of the sides of the piping bag. Then, with the red, we're going to fill the opposite side. When we have finished putting the desired amount of icing inside the piping bag, we're going to flip it up and close the bag together. Then we're going to simply merge the colors. I particularly don't like this technique because if you have one color more of the other, it's going to make it very difficult. Also, because it's not being separated within the bag, the icing colors are going to run together, and this is not going to create a very perfect effect. In fact, the colors are going to bleed together, meaning they're going to mix. Notice how in the beginning of the effect, you have to pipe a lot of icing in order to even get the colors to mix together. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is that the colors have blended. They have actually merged so much that they changed colors. Instead of having one side black and one side red, they're basically blended together. Now, let's check out the plastic wrap method. Out of the 3 methods, this one is my favorite. Not only does it keep the colors separated, but it's also very clean and easy to do. First, you're going to want to take your first icing color and simply draw a line in the middle of the plastic wrap. We're going to do the same thing on the other piece of plastic. Now this is my favorite part. We're going to take the bottom of the plastic and flip it over on top of the icing. And then we're going to take the top portion and flip it back under the one that we just flipped. Then we're going to take the sides and give it a good spin. What we are doing here is actually encapsulating the icing inside of the plastic sheet. Now we're going to do the same thing on the first one. We're going to take the bottom, flip it over on top of the icing, then take the top portion and flip it down over the one we just flipped. We're creating a barrier so that the icing does not come out when we spin. Take the edges and spin it around. Now that we have the 2 icings inside the plastic wrap, we're going to put them inside the piping bag, but before we do, we will take the ends and twist them together. If the ends are too long, it's okay to cut them with a pair of scissors. Now, we're ready to place inside the piping bag. We want to make sure that we get the tip of the plastic bag inside all the way to the end. We're going to want to take off our tip so that we only expose the coupler. This will make it easier to thread. See how the plastic wrap has come through? Now we are going to thread it inside the tip and cut the remaining plastic. Pull out the plastic wraps just a little, enough to give you space to squeeze the colors out. With a piece of paper, we're ready to start piping. The only thing bad about this technique is that you really have to waste a lot of icing before you can see the colors start to come out. Here you can see that most of the black icing is coming out. Slowly but surely, the red is also coming out. It will get to the point where both of the colors will start coming out equally. See, there's the red coming out now. We will continue to pipe, and from now on, both the colors will come out evenly from the piping bag. This is giving us a similar effect, just like our first method, when we had the double-sided bag. Now let's compare the end results. The first method was used with a double-sided bag. Even though we got perfectly merged colors, it was a little difficult putting the icing inside the bag. Also, it was very messy. For the second method, we just took a regular standard piping bag and put the 2 colors together. I didn't like this technique because it basically takes the 2 icing colors and blends them together. Instead of creating 2 separate colors, it just merged into one. And our last method was the plastic wrap method. This happens to be my favorite method because not only is it easy to do, it's super easy to clean. Also, you get the same effect as you would with a double-sided bag, except you just didn't have to buy a new bag to get the same effect. To see more videos like this and more, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, find us on Facebook, Baking Savvy 101.